powered by Riverside.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? It's 2 o'clock. It's a Wednesday. It's the Bullpen. I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. That little nose you see right over there is Lucas. There you go. It's a whole head there.
That nose over there.
It was just a little nose poking out, so he leaned up a little bit.
What's up, nose?
We're halfway through the week. We're on the other, getting ready to go on the other side of the week here. We got you for another hour, trying to keep you entertained. We're going to talk a little sports. We got plenty going on local sport-wise in baseball, in college football, just college football as a whole. The college football playoff rankings have come out and trying to piece together what happened this past weekend. But speaking in the sense of being entertained, I mean, that nobody was more entertained than you last night. You mentioned you were watching TV till midnight. I was asleep by 9 o'clock last night. First time that's happened in at least 10 years.
I was watching television till midnight last night. But before we get into all that, hold on, wait a minute. I'm going to use the sound effect from political coverage. Yeah, whoa, breaking news here on the Trash Panda front. We're going to go live to Madison County, check out some of these new caps coming to be available here in Panda Land. You might have heard about the Marvel partnership we got going on.
Right?
The jerseys that are going to be decked out. And boom, we got caps, people. Look at that bad boy. Got our Guardians themed logo right there. As you know, we are the Trash Panda, so it kind of makes sense there. But our Defenders of the Diamond logo, here it is. Lucas was looking at me, said, you better say Defenders of the Diamond. Get the phrasing right. We're going to get an email about this. I got it in there. Check this out. This hat will now be available at shoptrashpandas.com on the 18th, the same day as the start of the Rocket City Christmas Light Show. Also the same day that mini plans go on sale for the 2023 season.
And single season ticket.
Oh,
single
you
game
killed the
ticket
momentum.
I
You can't jump in here and then go,
no, I can't do that.
they're
That's
gonna-
actually a really nice hat. I like this.
What is wrong?
I actually haven't looked at the logo too much. I like it a lot, but I didn't realize that right there in the
He's got
eyebrow,
a little rocket there.
ship.
Yeah, you keep looking at that hat. I'll keep saying words.
Yeah, probably.
That's right. Go game vouchers will be on sale that day as well. So let's recap. New hat, Defenders of the Diamond,
Nailed it.
November 18th. Mini plans, November 18th. Single game vouchers, November 18th. Rocket City Christmas Light Show starting November 18th. You can get your passes now at trashpandaschristmas.com. I'm looking at the video board right now. It says 9 days. Only 9 days away. It's already getting dark early. Right when we leave the building, it's pretty much pitch black out there.
Oh, my God.
So it is light show season, folks.
By the way, when do you fix all of your clocks?
What year is this? It's just the microwave for me. Do you
Microwave
have a lot of
stove.
analog clocks around?
So we have the microwave, the stove, and then we also have a we don't use it as an alarm clock, but we have an alarm clock in our room just to look up and look without clicking our phones. My wife's had it forever. So those are the three that we have to fix. But I'm just curious because in my car also, I don't have a new enough car where it automatically updates like my wife's does. So I just, on my lunch break, fixed my car clock. But we had fixed all the clocks in the house like Monday or Tuesday. So the reason why I ask is we were leaving the office on Monday, daylight savings. You woke up Sunday morning with an extra hour, right?
Yep.
Like you got the extra hour Sunday morning. We're walking out at 5 p.m. on Monday. And a buddy of mine who started a little before me, but he's one of the new guys with me, walks outside. Me and Harley are walking out. And he goes, why is it so dark yet? Is there a tornado coming?
Is there a tornado?
I was like, no, it was daylight savings time.
We all right?
He was like, "What, already? Well, dude, it's been like a whole 36 hours. How did you not know?
It sneaks up on you now, man.
You haven't looked at a clock and realized it was different than your phone?
Your phone just changes on you, does all the easy work, dude. And I didn't change the microwave or the oven.
You haven't changed them yet?
No, and you know what? And I usually don't. And then once the next one rolls around, they're ready to go. You need a whole handbook to change those sometimes. You got to press this. Like in the oven, you got to press broil and down at the same time. And then
how old is your oven?
All right, maybe I'm exaggerating. You got to blow out the pilot light in the bottom. Once you get that, Yeah, you got to turn the knob due west at about 17.5 degrees. And that'll build up enough time for the clock to free up. You can.
Yeah, I just have a set clock button on both my microwave and my oven.
I guess I'm just lazy.
Well, I like to keep it for a couple of days, like maybe even the first week. Keep it an hour ahead because it makes you feel like you're early. You're like, oh my God, it's already. Actually, it's only, or like when you're going to bed or something, you're like, oh my God, it's already midnight. It's only 11 o'clock, baby.
Dude, I think we went back like 3 or 4 hours. I didn't think it got dark. I didn't think it was going to be completely dark when we got out of here at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, babe. Dark. Boom.
Whatever, though. It's that time of year. And it's, like I said, light show. It's not going to be dark out here for long. 9 days. TrashPandasChristmas.com. But to go back to what you were saying, I did have a lot of entertainment last night. And I'm not a man who considers myself into politics at all. In fact, I don't know anything about politics. I don't follow it. I don't know who's running. I just found out that our governor was being voted on yesterday. I was like, that's cool. Saw the results. And I saw the results because I watched like 3 or 4 hours of election night TV coverage on all of the political stations because they have completely stolen the model of like College Game Day or Fox Big Noon Kickoff. Like everything's epic. There's big graphics. There's a lot of sound effects. One station talks about totally different things than the other station, even though they're covering the same topic. It's like watching a Big Noon Kickoff. And they're like, I really like TCU this year. Alabama and all the other teams in the SEC stink. And then you go to ESPN, it's like, Georgia's the greatest team in America. And they don't even reference TCU. You don't even know that they're undefeated if you watch that station. It's the best. I love it, dude. There's people popping in all the time. Like, you'll just be sitting there. Okay, we're going to go live. We're going to go live to Nevada right now. Oh, wow. I'm floored at this one. Looks like Maggie Hassan has defeated Don Bolduc for Senate. Wow. That's a race we've been following closely right there, folks. Bolduc's out, and I'm at home. I'm on the couch. I'm like, Bolduc's out? What? He had such a strong campaign. And then it kind of hit me. I'm like, I don't even know who Bolduc is.
His strength of schedule was so good.
He had a top 5 recruiting class. Have you seen the aides on his staff? They're top notch, blue chippers. You don't miss out on that kind of stuff. I don't know how it. Wait a minute. Oh. No, we're gonna need to go out. Wait a minute. Is it? Yeah, it is. It is official. Mosto has beat Laxalt in Nevada. I will remember where I am at this exact moment for the rest of my life. Let me say that again. Masto has beat Laxalt, folks. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Laxalt. I love it, man. It's the best. I had so much fun.
Auburn ran the missed field goal back.
I get to Thursday night football and I'm like, I don't know, not exciting enough for me. Then I get on election night for something I don't care about. I'm like, Bolduc? He had it in the bag. What do you mean? I love it, man. I love election night television coverage. I put in about 3 to 4 hours last night, and I don't think I've put in 3 to 4 hours of watching the news in the entire year prior to that. So I'm just a fan of competition and bright lights. Numbers. I like looking at numbers. They're always changing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a goldfish.
In complete contrast to you, I was asleep by 9 o'clock last night.
That's life.
First time in probably 10 years.
Time out. You got a pacifier still in your pocket?
No, just keys.
Okay,
just keys.
Good.
We're good. We're good on the passing.
You don't need
passing.
that. You don't need that.
No.
You don't need that.
I felt like when we put these on, we were like committing to a school, and I feel like they should take their election coverage a step further. And just, they have the commitment style hats, where's the headgear? Where's the headgear?
Wait, hold on. We're getting news right now. Yeah, it is true. Antonio's got a new hat. He's got a new hat, folks. Not all the votes are in. In fact, we only have 36% of the votes in, but we're going to go ahead and say, yeah, it's a pretty nice hat. It's a pretty nice hat. They call races too. Like one race will have like 87% of the vote in. They'll be like, a little too close to call for us. And then they'll be like, all right, the polls close in Nevada in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and it appears we can call it right now for the governor. He's got 3% of the vote. He's got 18 total votes. His competitor has 6. We're going to go ahead and call it. We think he's got it.
We don't even have a percent of the vote in. It is 2. It's a runaway.
They counted the votes at a Methodist church. that 17 people are scheduled to vote at. And yeah, it's official. We're going to go ahead and give it to them. We're going to call the race. We have 98% of the vote here in this one thing where the polls have been closed for 3 hours. We don't know where to go on that one. A little too close. I mean, we're not fortune tellers. But wait, we're going to take it out to Wisconsin. The Senate race 2 years from now, we're going to go ahead and call it. We're going to call it for the Don. Don wins.
Mm-hmm.
So back to you guys.
Paul Christ has just won the. Oh, that's a football. Yeah, he won.
Well, I mean, Herschel Walker was on TV a ton last night. And they were talking about like his Georgia rushing stats and stuff. I'm like, man, they are really trying to get me and all the other guys that don't know anything. They're just like, he said football player. Hey,
they're going.
You going to talk about that Heisman season?
That one's going to a runoff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and I know that. And I won't know anything until that happens. I don't know when it's happening. I don't even know what a runoff is really, because didn't they just have a runoff? And then didn't they run? And it was only them. And I guess other people. I don't know how any of it works, which I think makes it more enjoyable because I don't have a side.
A runoff happens when you don't when there's one person that doesn't get at least 50%.
No, I get that, but like there were two people. Now they're going to have a runoff between two people. Aren't the people who voted just going to vote the same?
Were there only two people?
I would imagine. That's all I saw on the television. I mean, they would have told me there would have been a sound effect.
I didn't watch any election coverage.
Oh, breaking news. There's a third person, and there were two people the entire election. A third guy just came out. He was so excited after Georgia beat Tennessee, he decided he's going to run for the Senate. He got 2 votes, one from himself, one from his mother, but those 2 votes kept it from going to 50%. We're going to go ahead and have a runoff.
Yeah, this right here. Chase Oliver got 81,000 votes, dude. When they
come on, Chase.
In a runoff, they take him off. Those 81,000 votes got to go somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. And it's only separated by 35,000 right now between Warnock and Herschel.
Oh.
So.
Can't they just have an option at the bottom, be like, hey, say you vote for a stupid
tiebreaker?
Say you vote for a guy who doesn't have a chance. You voted for the dude who like works at the post office and then he raised $20,000 and he got on the ballot. Like,
yeah, you voted for Tua.
If you want your vote to actually count towards something who might win, who would you vote for? I guess I'll vote for him. I mean, what was that guy's name again?
Chase Oliver.
It would be the greatest upset in American political history. Chase Oliver went out there and won a Senate seat. Guy doesn't even have a picture on Google. I have a picture on Google. You have a picture on Google. Everybody has a picture on Google. Chase Oliver does not. Our voting process is broken. And not for all the reasons everyone says it's broken. We got it broken because Chase Oliver's getting votes over here and he doesn't have a picture on Google. I
heard Tua got votes last night. Is that true?
That's what on the surface you would think. Mm-hmm. Now, I am an expert political
That's right.
Analyst.
Analysister.
And after all of my analyzing last night, I noticed that Tua was showing at 5th place in the Florida Senate race won by Marco Rubio. Mm-hmm. And I saw it and I went, man, Tua is having a great year. I mean, I predicted this guy to win the MVP, but I certainly did not see him finishing 5th in the Senate race. That's pretty impressive. He got like 17,000 votes. Then I did a little digging because I'm like, 17,000. That's a lot of people that voted Tua. And they're like, does Tua know that? Like, how cool would that be? Like, you're going to practice today. You're like, did you see that? I got 17,000 votes to be a senator, man. Like, that's a pretty good day. I feel like I'm throwing the ball a little tighter if I know I got 17,000 votes in an election I didn't run in.
That's way more votes than he would get for the MVP.
So I did what everybody on Twitter didn't, that posted and just said Tua got 5th. Tua did not get 5th. That was Photoshop because the guy who did get 5th, his name is Tuan Win. Tuan, Tuan.
So they just
that's why if you see this image, it has everyone's full names, and then in 5th place, it just says Tua. They didn't. I'm thinking, well, when I saw it, I'm like, maybe they didn't want to say his name.
Tuan doesn't have a picture either.
Tuan ain't got no picture, and he got a 6th of the votes of no picture from Georgia. Tough day. Now, Tua Tagovailoa gets a picture. I've seen many pictures of him. That's how I see this. I go, no, that's Tuan Win right there. So, no, Tua did not get 5th place in the Florida Senate race. I'm sorry to break that news to you on all you big people who are really into politics and stuff like that. Tua, quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, did not get 5th place.
Bummer.
But a bummer, yeah. But imagine being 2 on win. That guy actually did run. And no one even knows. They're giving all his votes to a guy who plays football. That's a tough day.
Should probably just.
He's got a website. I looked at it.
Whatever your day job is, you should just do that.
Brutal stuff, dude.
What does he do?
Besides, 2 on win?
Yeah, besides being a politician.
I don't know. Well, he's got to do something.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, he got no votes.
Stick with that instead of politician or instead of politics because you're
I don't know.
We gave all your votes to a quarterback in Miami.
Well, we got breaking news out of the 2-win camp. Apparently, he's announcing his nomination for the presidency coming up in 2024.
Hey, there you go.
He has already announced his running mate as being that guy from Georgia. They're going to run with their no picture ballots. They're going to be completely anonymous. They said the face of America should be no face at all. And so look out for that one. It's going to be a hot one. Combined, they got 100,000 votes.
It's the faceless man from Game of Thrones.
Out of a possible 9 million. So, man, exciting night though. Exciting. What
was it?
Yeah. Did I tell you about Bullduck? I mean, what are you doing?
Again, I was out cold. So I've got some friends that were heavy into it. They're very upset. I'm obviously not going to go into politics for real, but
I couldn't either.
Well, you were talking about you were talking about how you not caring about it at all. We're caring about it just because of the presentation of it, like very football-esque. What do the live shots look like when you send someone down with playoff coverage? They're standing at like a pizza party or something. But how do you?
Yeah, because they'll be up there, be like, all right, we're going to be here all night for you. Coverage is really growing. Oh wait, hold on. They go to the ear. They go. Actually, I believe we got a live shot in Maricopa County real quick, Florida. Let's go ahead and take that live shot. And it's literally a camera a guy put on the sidewalk, just staring at a line of people waiting to vote. So it's just a bunch of butts and like a church, and nothing's happening. And they go from live shot to live shot. They're like, yeah, let's go ahead and go live to Maricopa. Oh, wow. Yeah, they are definitely voting there. That's a lot. And in case you aren't wondering, folks, that's live. That's not a screenshot or a picture, despite the fact that no one's moving in the live shot. They're all just standing still. Nobody knows each other. There's no conversation going on. That is a live shot. Let's go. Wait, hold on. Let's go ahead and take it out to Las Noches County out there in Nevada. We got a live shot right there. That's the counting room. That's where the votes are going to be counted. Yeah, currently no one's in there. Because the polls are not closed. That also is a live shot. That is not a screenshot. That is a live camera view that we flew people out there for to film an empty room. Wait, hold on. I think we're gonna need can we triple box this? Can we triple box this?
We're gonna have to go down to the Mooresville Baptist Church where it is absolute bedlam down there right now. We have a reported 50 people in line right now to vote, Ricky. It is insane out here.
Early reports are that one guy is using 2 spaces instead of 1. He drives a truck, and the wheels they just don't fit in one spot. We'll have more action on that one as it develops, but somebody's definitely getting towed out here. As we triple box it, there you see Maricopa County. Everyone is still in the exact same position they were 45 minutes ago when we showed it. And good golly, Miss Molly, this night just keeps getting crazier. What?
More votes in Madison County are becoming official because now, Ricky, they are applying their I voted stickers to their shirts.
All right.
The I voted stickers are now going on the shirts. The votes are official here in Madison County.
I talked to the youth minister here at this church. He's very fed up. He had to park at an Arby's down the road just so he could get into work today and they could plan the weekly kickball game. So, I mean, tensions are high over here. We're going to go ahead and send it back to the studio, though. Thank you. It's the best, dude. They want it to be sports so bad, and it's just not.
So, what live coverage did you enjoy more? Because I remember back a couple months ago when the hurricane was going around, you enjoyed hurricane coverage. Election coverage, hurricane coverage.
I love them both.
Mm-hmm.
And as a man who does not know anything about weather or politics, I just love bright lights and things happening. And hurricane coverage, it's hard to deny. That is action all the time. There is a raging storm hitting these people that they just send out in the middle of the most dangerous part of this storm to report the news that they could very easily just do from the studio. Like, they should probably think about the live shot thing that the political coverage is doing. Like, maybe just put a camera out there, nail it to the ground. We don't have to put a person. We'll get all the great stuff. Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, they got cameras filming lines. Weather Channel's like, nah, forget that. Let's get our top 5 highest paid meteorologists. These people have studied it their whole life. They know it like no other. And let's see if we can get them killed by a branch off a palm tree.
Hey, which one of you has a family and the most to lose? Yeah, we're gonna send you out in the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah. Are we gonna like be behind a wall or something? No, I'm thinking I'm gonna put you right in the middle of the street. Yeah. But then you also get those guys that got stationed somewhere they thought was going to be dangerous, and then it wasn't dangerous because like the storm moved, so they got to make it look more dangerous than it really is. So he gets into a wind tunnel, but then in the background you see a guy like park his car and get out to get groceries. And you're like, something's not. They did that in Huntsville once. They were in Big Spring Park. They were because there was like tornadoes or whatever. Like, it is really getting windy out here, and like there's people walking down the sidewalk in front of the BBC, and I'm like, that's
my favorite one when you see a guy's like, we're really out here just trying, like Chris Farley walking, trying to get through the storm, and there are people like in the background looking at him like, the heck's that
what's
guy?
That guy? Yeah, guys wearing basketball shorts, smoking a cigarette, like the wind's not even affecting it at all. What's that guy doing? It's kind of weird. Whatever.
Hurricane coverage is by far the best.
Hurricane's great. They're great in their own ways, but I love other TV stations and events mimicking their broadcasts after sports. It's the best, man. Now we just need Scott Hansen in there, octoboxing it up.
Yeah. We're going to go double box here in Alabama. Double boxing. Going to go double box.
Oh, my gosh.
It's the best.
It's fantastic. I had so much fun.
Who would you say last night, you said you watched a bunch of them. Who was the Scott Hansen of election coverage?
It kind of just depends on what channel you're watching. There's about I'll give you the station by station. So like MSNBC had like 3 people. And so like they kind of just like talk. That's like just watching a conversation.
Yeah.
They're just talking. And then occasionally they'll throw in some jabs. How about that one? Huh? I guess he should have conceded that election in 2022. And you're like, I don't get the jokes, because I don't get any of the right. So I'm like, I think that was witty. And then you go to Fox News and they have 47 people in a room, and all of them are talking at the same time. So the guy who's got the screen, he's working the screen. He's trying to do a thing, but the 47 people in the back who've been in the same room for 4 hours are just completely talking over him, and he's getting frustrated too. You can tell he wants to throw a clipboard at him. So you don't know anything that's going on, but they're laughing too, but you don't even get to hear the joke. So you're just like, well, I'm just glad they're happy, I guess. And then CNN, they're just kind of like, I don't know. They just feel beaten a little bit. Like the Fox News, MSNBC, they got these cool backgrounds like Rockefeller Center, like Radio City Music Hall. CNN's just in a room. It doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right.
Yeah,
I didn't watch.
They've all got their individual flair.
Okay. Well, they all want to imitate sports really bad. We can actually talk some actual sports that went down last night. There's football like every day. If you wanted to watch some action, I think there was some action going on last night.
Are you an action guy?
No,
I'm not either.
Dude, I tried to be when I was in radio, just trying to pay attention to everything. There's so much that's gone out the window that I'm so relieved because we're not coming in here to talk action.
No,
we just talked 24 minutes of election coverage, not even anything political, really.
I was really into the MAC.
Yeah,
like 2004. It was a good year for the MAC.
Not
really since then, though. Yeah. Didn't have a girlfriend at the time. Maction kind of filled that. Bowling Green versus Toledo on a Tuesday night. I was like, well, hey.
Yeah, that's true. Now I have TikTok, so like I can just
there's competition. Back then I was like, not so much.
Yeah, like that's great that Bowling Green just scored a touchdown. But did you see this guy make a peach cobbler out of like Doritos? I did. It was awesome.
You can't compete with that.
It was a minute and a half.
I have Doritos. I can do that.
So the second college football playoff rankings came out last night, and
no, wait.
Oh God,
get in my ear. Yeah, the college football playoff rankings came out last night. In case you were wondering. Yeah. And back to you.
So the big question really was just where was Tennessee going to go after debuting at number 1 in the poll? Where were they going to fall, and who would be above them, and what does their path now look to the college football playoff? What does it look like? Well, they only fell to 5. They fell just out of the top 4. They threw the 4 unbeaten teams in the top 4. So you've got Georgia at 1, Ohio State, Michigan 2 and 3, and TCU at 4, with Tennessee falling to 5. And the argument right now is anyone out there saying that Tennessee should be ranked above undefeated TCU. And here's a couple of reasons why. Number one, you never should have thought that in the first place. And number two, maybe why that's a good thing that TCU was above Tennessee, because you don't want false hope. If Tennessee had fallen to 4 and TCU was at 5 and TCU finished undefeated, won the Big 12 championship, and was 13-0, then they are going to leapfrog Tennessee, because what the committee wants, I'm not saying they should, but what the committee values and what the Boo, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
Boo Radley or whatever from the,
I don't think that was it. It was close.
But yeah. He is emphasizing, like they always do, conference championships matter. Tennessee's not going to have one of those. They're going to have to get in an at-large bid. TCU, they're undefeated, and they win their conference championship as a Power 5. They're in the playoffs. So you don't want Tennessee ranked above them right now. You want the undefeated teams up there, and then when they fall, you get that one-loss team to jump over them. The one that I thought you needed to watch for Tennessee was the one-loss Pac-12 players here, because
Bingo.
They also have one loss, and they have a chance to continue to climb, and they still have something that Tennessee doesn't, a chance to win their conference championship. Tennessee has an outside shot. Georgia has to lose 2 games of their next 3. That's not going to happen. But if Oregon wins out and wins their conference championship, then they have an opportunity to jump Tennessee. However, right now, Tennessee as a one-loss team without that conference championship, Tennessee is above Oregon. That is huge for the Volunteers. So the Volunteers, all they know now is that without the conference championship, they are still valued above Oregon and USC. So they need those teams. If they're going to win the Pac-12, one of those teams needs to be a 2-loss team.
Interesting rankings. And I've looked at it. I've thought about the possibilities. I've looked at the projections. I've seen the polls. And I'm going to be honest, I think I'm ready to say it. I'm going to go ahead and call the 4th spot for USC. I think USC is going to climb in there and get the 4th spot in the college football playoff. Right now, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. That's cool. If TCU loses a game, which I think they will, whether it's regular season or Big 12 championship, Tennessee, Oregon, the committee has said they view the loss to Georgia equally. They say they both lost. They were both runaway games. I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
But that's what they said. We look at that loss the same, equal losses, which I think will effectively get them both whacked. See ya. They're out of here. If TCU loses, Michigan, Ohio State, whoever loses that one, I think they're going to view that like a playoff game and not want to give them another rematch. But if you look at USC's got an easy way, not an easy way, but they've got the best schedule remaining. And I mean that in quality opponents. You got a number 9 UCLA. You got Notre Dame, who's fresh off beating Clemson. They've got big wins ahead of them. These other schools do not. USC's going to get there, going to get big wins at the end when it matters. They're going to go past LSU. They're going to go past Oregon and Tennessee. They're going to go past TCU, and this committee will be so happy because a Pac-12 team will have earned a way in there. They can put that in there. Whether you think they earned it or not doesn't matter. They would have a case to show that they earned it, and I think USC is going to get that spot.
I think USC drops another game. Maybe not
right
one of their regular season opponents, but
I'm with
maybe
you on that
maybe
one. That could happen. But if they run it,
I agree with you there. If they run it, they're in it, and they need to, because as of right now, I guess the reason why you're saying that is all the good things that can happen for USC are ahead of them. And if those things do fall into place, then they'll be there. But if you look at their resume right now, they don't deserve to be there. They've only played one top 25 team, and they lost to that team in Utah. Their opponent record overall is like 40-41. So they have a lot of ground to cover. But like Ricky said, all of that is still in front of them. So I like what you and it's USC. They've got Caleb Williams. They've got Lincoln Riley. They've got the media.
Exactly.
It'll work out for them for sure. I agree with you. And I will say this: if Oregon or USC, I'll throw Oregon in there. If Oregon or USC win the Pac-12 with one loss, unfortunately, I think they jump Tennessee. And that includes an Oregon team that lost by almost 7 touchdowns to Georgia. And while I disagree with it, the committee, as Ricky said, views it as a common loss.
Yeah.
And that extra component would be the Pac-12 championship.
Huge bonus for Oregon.
Huge
bonus. They got killed at a neutral site.
Almost 7 touchdowns almost.
Neutral site.
That's nuts.
Tennessee loses by 2 touchdowns at Georgia. I mean,
it's unfair.
golly.
And another thing we're not talking about, too, is we're talking about Tennessee who took a loss, Oregon who took a loss, and they still have a path to get in. They need some help, but they have a path to get in. But look who we're glossing over. We keep glossing over the loser of Michigan, Ohio State. They're both undefeated, and their only loss potentially could be to the number 2 or number 3 team in the country. But we're saying that if they lose that game, whoever loses that game, well, they're out. But Tennessee with 1 loss, Oregon with 1 loss, still has a chance to get in. And while this will never change, it has to do with when they play that game. It's the last game of the regular season.
Yeah,
it's the last game of the regular season.
And if it's close, whoever loses that game had a close loss as opposed to Tennessee and Oregon, who they consider to be runaway losses.
Right. So is the loser of Ohio State, Michigan really out of it?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because again, if they both meet each other at 11-0, right?
Depending on how the game goes.
If they meet each other at 11-0, let's see. It's in Ohio State this year, right?
Especially if Ohio State loses, they're going to get a little more leeway there than Michigan.
It's at Ohio State, but let's say it's like Ohio State wins in overtime on a 2-point conversion, or they kick a field goal to win it at the Horn. It's at Ohio State, so Michigan goes to Ohio State, loses by a last-second field goal to the number 2 team in the country. But you're going to drop them below Tennessee and Oregon? I don't think so.
It's a great point. I think you're right.
So you
got a chance.
You have a player there in there.
Go back to the rankings real quick on your computer so I can see that. I mean, Georgia's going to win the whole thing, so it really doesn't matter.
They're very good. They're very good.
Georgia's going to sit right there at number 1. I don't see them budging for the rest of the year. Can you put it back up for me? Okay, hold on 1 second. Well, hold on. I'm getting news in my ear right now. The elapsed time Tony Mack had that poll up for me was 4.8 seconds. The average human memory needs at least 5.5 to be created, so therefore I do not remember what I was looking. There it is. It's back up. Thank you. Georgia going to be right there at 1. Say TCU loses. Say USC loses. We could have a 2-on-2 SEC Big Ten showdown. You think?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Georgia, Ohio State. You'd have to put Tennessee at 3 just so you wouldn't have a rematch of Ohio State, Michigan, and a rematch of Tennessee, Georgia in the opening rounds. Unless maybe you do. Maybe you do want rematch. Could you imagine that first round? Georgia, Tennessee rematch, neutral site. Ohio State, Michigan rematch, neutral site. Insane.
But nuts.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do take, if there's 2 teams in each conference, you have an SEC playoff, you have a Big Ten playoff. Winners decide who's the best. I kind of love that.
I would like that too. We almost had something like that last year. If Cincinnati was the one who kind of ruined it all, had they lost a game, then you would have maybe had Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, Alabama in the playoff a year ago. So it's just a really interesting thing to look at. Considering that I think all of us agree that TCU will probably drop a game. What do you think? So let's just keep that same trend here. Looking at Oregon and Tennessee. I know I've already said what I believe. If everything holds serve, Tennessee wins out, they're 11-1. Oregon wins out, they're 12-1 with the Pac-12 championship. Do they jump Tennessee in your mind? I agree.
Because they're tied. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. That's what they said. The committee really set themselves up to be goofed on later, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to go out and say that you view Tennessee and Oregon's loss as the same. Mm-hmm. If Oregon jumps Tennessee later on but doesn't win the Pac-12, like how do you explain that?
You know what I'm here for? You want to talk about total chaos? And this would absolutely eliminate Tennessee from the discussion, most likely. Well, maybe not, because if the team that wins out that I'm thinking of does win out, Tennessee did stomp them in their own home place. But what if LSU wins out and wins the SEC championship? I mean, think about it. I mean, I don't think they will.
God,
I think they lose. I think they lose to Georgia. But let's say they do. They're at 10-2 in the SEC championship game. Let's say they win the SEC championship game. They're at 11-2. You think Georgia's not getting that at-large bid if it's available.
Oh my God, they would. Yeah,
Georgia would get that at-large bid. But you can't put Tennessee in as well.
No.
When they weren't even in the game. But can you put LSU, a 2-loss SEC champion, in over Tennessee, who got stomped by Tennessee by almost 40 points? That
is Armageddon.
That's chaos.
That's the
chaos.
Absolute craziest scenario.
And I'm pulling for it because I want to see what the committee does. I want to see what it happened. Now that we've got confirmation that we're getting playoff expansion in a couple of years, I want it. I'm ready for it. Let's see it.
No,
it doesn't feel like it's tasting right to you.
I was all happy and stuff during the SEC Big Ten showdown we were talking about. Mm-hmm. LSU winning the SEC. We'll probably get an expanded playoff a lot sooner if that's the case. Because I mean that will be all right. Look, I mean, so if LSU beats Georgia, and then somehow
wait, we're getting word in here right now. The ProCare app. It looks like Oliver's wet diaper was just changed. It was just changed about 12 minutes ago. Back to you.
What app did you just open during that?
The app for my kid's daycare.
They let you know when he does stuff?
Every single time. Every single time. From this morning when I dropped him off, you can see here, I signed him in at 7:10, 7:56. He drank 4 ounces.
Whoa.
His wet diaper was changed at 8:05. Took a nap for 17 minutes.
That's a good nap. That's the optimal amount of nappage.
Another wet diaper at 10. 4-ounce bottle at 10:30. A 21-minute nap.
This kid's living a life.
Another wet guy. He's peed a lot.
He's
today.
Just peeing and sleeping every 15 minutes.
Another 25-minute nap at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And then he drank 4 more ounces at 1:20, and then at 2:25, another wet diaper.
Golly, dude, how much are you spending on diapers a month?
40
grand?
You don't want to know how much we spend on diapers.
Got to get this kid toilet trained.
Dude, now it gets to the point now when I get home and I see an Amazon package that's been delivered, I'm almost like, oh, hey, we got more diapers. Oh, hey, we got some more wipes.
Man, it's 2:38 currently.
Mm-hmm.
That kid has worn 7 diapers.
Yeah, they change them every 2 hours
and taken 5 naps.
Yeah, dude, and none of them have been at least 30 minutes. All of them have been under 30 minutes.
Is he just taking power naps?
I guess so. He does that in the afternoons, like in the morning, and then when we get home in the evening, he'll take like an hour and a half nap. But when we put him down at last night, we put him down like 8 o'clock. He went out. He ate his last bottle. He went out at 8 o'clock. He didn't wake up again until 3 o'clock this morning to eat. Like he when he goes down for the night, he's down. But during the day, he's in and out.
I want to film an episode of daycare coverage. Get the live shot at the naps. A live shot of a nap would be just as exciting as the live shots.
Dude, you would get some pretty
lines.
You'd get some gross live shots.
We're not putting them all. We're not.
When I drop them off in the morning,
I just said naps. Okay, dude.
There's been twice now where I've dropped them off in the morning, and another parent is dropping their son off, and as soon as they've laid him in the floor, you could already see like spots on his clothes where he's had a blowout. So,
okay, all right, that's good. Breaking news. Yeah, still football season.
Right.
Let's go ahead and take a live shot of the rankings. Like I was saying, LSU wins the SEC. They give a diaper change to the whole college football world. All right, so LSU would be up in the top 4. Georgia, you got to keep that as well. That's 2 teams. Winner of Ohio State, Michigan, going to be in there as well.
You want to know what's helping LSU too right now as a 2-loss team? This right here.
Florida State.
It's a ranked loss. They have 2 ranked losses.
Florida State, I think, is going to go up too, man. They don't look bad.
Don't they play Clemson soon?
They got
they already played Clemson. Clemson beat them.
That's used to be a ranked match. Syracuse, Louisiana, and Florida.
Florida State could win their next 3 games.
Absolutely.
And finish the season 9-3.
And I mean, if you watch that game, that LSU team that played that night is not the LSU team that played Alabama last week. They've got significantly better.
Dude, it just think about the way it went, too. They get smoked by Tennessee, right? 27 points. Tennessee smokes them. 27 points. Ooh. And then that was at LSU at 11 a.m.
God, that's another. Does LSU even get in with an SEC championship?
That's what I'm asking. That's what makes it insane because Georgia still does. But so think about that.
Yeah.
Then. But wouldn't LSU winning the SEC championship still eliminate Tennessee? Because if you can't, if you're going to take 2 SEC teams, you have to take an at-large and the SEC champion. You can't take Georgia, Tennessee, and leave the SEC champion at home.
Right, that would be wild.
We did that once with Ohio State. We took Ohio a 2-loss Ohio State team, or a 1-loss Ohio State team, because Penn State won the Big Ten with 2 losses, and that was chaos. Think about taking 2 SEC teams but leaving the SEC champ at home. There's no way. There's no way you could do that. So they would only have to take 1 SEC team at that point, and it would have to be Georgia.
Going to be a fun final month of unpacking stuff here, man. There's a lot of possibilities.
Going to be nuts.
A lot of possibilities.
If you want to text into the show in real time, you can do that. 256-434-1366. 256-434-1366. NFL Insider gets in. He says, TCU drops a game. Oregon gets in over Tennessee with the conference title. Bo Nix wins the title and a Heisman just because. Why not?
If it was ever going to happen, I mean, who's your Heisman favorite?
It's Bo Nix, probably.
Are you really?
Yeah,
I'm not judging you or anything. I thought you were joking. I'm like,
no, I think that who I think will win it right now. I think Bo Nix. You've got the storyline and all that.
My
yeah,
God. This is the craziest football season ever. LSU.
Who else is in the front runner for?
LSU might win the SEC championship, not make the playoff. Alabama and Clemson are completely out of it, and Bo Nix might win the Heisman. And I'm watching 4 hours of political coverage. Bro, I got breaking news for you. I'm breaking as a human. My world's upside down.
When does the Heisman voting stop? It's after conference championship weekend, right?
Yeah.
Votes go in that Monday, I believe. So if that's the case, think about it. If we're going into conference championship weekend with C.J. Stroud as the Heisman favorite and Bo Nix and Oregon are a 1-loss team going into their conference championship game, if Bo Nix and Oregon win that game, 12-1 conference champions, Bo Nix is winning the Heisman Trophy, because you have everybody paying attention to Oregon all at once. You've got media members that vote on it. You're getting the storyline, and Bo Nix carries the best storyline in all the Heisman contenders right now. Bo Nix is winning the Heisman Trophy if that happens.
You just broke me. What? What do you mean? But the same one from Auburn?
Yeah. You know his dad played
Auburn too. Shut up. His quarterback. I think I might become a politics guy if Bo Nix wins the Heisman. I think I'm going to become a pundit.
Why?
Because I don't know anything anymore.
But if that happens, like, that's an easy thing for Alabama fans to troll Auburn fans with. It's not like that goes.
I don't care. I don't care about that. I'm not that internet guy that goes and tries to get his W's with the keyboard. I like for my team to get W's on the field. And if Bo Nix wins a freaking Heisman, I think I'm going to throw up.
I think he's got everything in front of him to do it. I think Hendon Hooker's Heisman chances, unfair or not, went out the window with that loss at Georgia.
And plus, he won't be playing championship weekend.
Exactly. Bo Nix, with all the storylines behind it, being a transfer, going out to Oregon to play and playing the way that they are right now.
Is Oregon USC a Heisman? Is that a conference championship possibility? They in 2 different divisions?
Yeah, they are in 2 different divisions.
You could have.
That's most likely going to be your Pac-12 championship game.
All right, well, look, C.J. Stroud still got the game against Michigan. Everybody is going to be watching that. If he has a big game there in a big moment, he wins.
He's got no storyline.
Doesn't matter. No one has a story.
Bo Nix
isn't the guy we were talking about. We're talking about Bo Nix, dude.
He's got the story. But Caleb Williams, too, has got a decent storyline.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if we – first off.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I was thinking divisions.
I can't think anymore.
I was thinking division. The Pac-12 doesn't do divisions anymore. They're just taking the top 2 teams in their conference. So, yeah, as of right now.
So, it could possibly –
It's Oregon USC. Well, they weren't in the same division before anyway. But I've been thinking differently this entire time. So, they're still the 2 front runners. They're both 8-1. USC's got a loss in the conference. Oregon doesn't. So, Oregon's almost a lock to be in. USC is actually still fighting for their berth. They have to beat UCLA because UCLA could still get in there. Utah, with only 1 loss in conference, could still get in there. And a Washington team, if that team, even though they're going to have some help, things go their way, that's a pretty good football team too. I can see any of those teams, maybe not upsetting Oregon, but upsetting a USC.
Michigan, Ohio State will have 2 of the top 3 finalists with Blake Corum and C.J. Stroud.
Snooze fest.
I know. Corum's really good. He's going to have to run for like 300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Blake Corum has a better chance at winning the
good.
Georgia Senate race than the Heisman Trophy in my mind.
Don't say it. It could happen.
Did he get any votes?
He's got a
last
picture
night?
on Google. I know that. And that's what matters. Credibility. People vote for that. People vote on pictures. So CJ Stroud, Corum are going to be right there. That's before conference weekends.
Mhm.
If CJ Stroud goes out there and has an absolute game, balls out, Ohio State looks like they're going to be the team to play Georgia. CJ Stroud's going to win the Heisman. If he has an game and Corum plays big, he might win the Heisman. It just feels weird to pick him because it doesn't feel like feels like it's a quarterback award now, and it feels like if you're a running back and you're going to win it, you got to really earn it.
You got to really
really like be stellar all year. He has, but it just doesn't get the kind of press.
Derrick Henry was last running back to win, right? And he ran for well over 2,000 yards.
Yeah, right. So I don't know if he's really got a chance.
And he beat out some studs. He beat out McCaffrey and Deshaun Watson.
But if he has a big weekend in the big house, it could happen. Or at the shoe this year, but you know what I'm saying, in the big game. Then
you know it's going to be at 11 a.m.
Say that doesn't go too great for either of them. Then you got Bo Nix and Caleb Williams playing each other. And if one of them has a huge game and then that gets their team into the playoff, that could be our Heisman.
Exactly. Bo Nix is very much in the Heisman.
Do you think this is the most parity we've had in the entire college football playoff era, just in like Heisman and in playoff rankings? And do you think the transfer portal is the reason for that? Because I do.
A transfer portal is a huge reason for it. I know a lot of people are talking about, with the NIL being a reason why maybe Alabama's not as hungry. That's why they dropped 2 games. I honestly think
that's a dumb excuse.
I honestly think it's more parity driven than anything. It's that most of these teams are able to retool and get a lot of talent on their team. And the gap, Alabama's still one of the most talented teams in the country. There's no question about
Just
that.
because you get a check for $500K from Gold Bond foot powder doesn't mean you don't want to win football games now. That's crazy.
Maybe there's a little bit of that, but I would say it's more so the transfer portal and parity in my mind.
Got to be. Look at the depth for Alabama's receivers and look at where there's so many receivers out. There's a Baker for UCF. Mm-hmm. There's dude on Mississippi State.
Jordan Addison at USC.
There's guys moving around making impacts everywhere where Alabama's being hurt as a result. They don't have the depth that they've always had throughout the Saban era. They're suffering. They're at 2 losses. No one's talking about them in the playoff. And there's all these other teams and all these guys we're talking about in the Heisman. As much as you want to complain about college football, man, this is what everybody wanted, right?
I'm enjoying
an expanded playoff and parity where it's not the same teams every year. Now, granted, Georgia is still just a bell cow, top of the game, but there's a lot of other teams there.
You're still going to get a little bit of that. Like, that's not going to erase Georgia and Alabama, Ohio State from being contenders in the playoff, but it's going to make it eventually to where when we get it, like, I know we're having parity in the regular season, but when we get to the 14 playoff, we're still going to have a pretty good idea that there are 2 teams that are clearly better than the others, right? But eventually that's going to start going away in my mind. It's not going to work right away. And I also think a 12-team playoff helps in the long run. These games start becoming more and more close.
Just think about all of the talented 5-star recruits that are going to transfer out of Texas A&M this year and go to other schools.
And go everywhere else.
That talent's got to go somewhere, man. And it all can't go to one place.
That's a great point. That was a great point. And speaking of, A&M's going to Auburn this weekend, both on a 5-game losing streak. And I honestly don't know who I'd pick to win that game. If I was just going with my gut, I'd honestly say Texas A&M. But it's Auburn getting a home game, and it's Cadillac's first game as the head coach at Auburn when they're at home, and the team obviously is going to have a lot of energy for him. So Auburn will probably win this game.
Feels like the magic's out at Jordan Hare, right? The
if
guy pulling the magical strings up there to make crazy things happen. This feels like it. All the right energy. We're getting a cold front hitting a warm front at the same time right over Jordan Hare Stadium.
So if they do win that game, and Cadillac goes 2-2. They lose Mississippi State, beat A&M, lose Mississippi State, beat Western Kentucky, lose to Alabama. They go 2-2 to finish the year. Is Cadillac Williams, should he be considered for the Auburn head coaching job?
No. He's a great figurehead. He's given this team life at the end of the year that had no life all year, had no life for the most of the Harsin administration there. So, Cadillac's done a great job. Auburn fans behind him. Did you see them against Mississippi State last week? They competed very well. Up until the entire game, Cadillac's getting people going. You could tell he's made a positive change there. But as far as in the long run and recruiting and getting guys to come to Auburn, Cadillac's great if you want to recruit guys who are Auburn fans from the early 2000s, which, let's see, is probably the year that most guys were born that are going into college or in college. So they probably have to Google Cadillac Williams to even know who he is.
Oh, my God, you're probably not far off.
Yeah.
Oh,
you ever seen the roster of the Trash Pandas? You see the youth there, and you're like, wow, I'm old now. I'm not young. I'm not.
The oldest players were born in like
96.
Like 96, 97.
Yeah, that's an old guy.
That's that's a guy that's, oh, my God.
Where was I going with that?
Cadillac Williams.
Yeah, so look, I mean, I really don't think it does you any great benefits there to be able to compete with Kirby Smart, Nick Saban, and everybody else in the SEC. Tennessee's a top program now. You got to worry about them. You got Oklahoma, Texas coming in soon. Texas A&M can get guys, can't do anything with them. But you still got to throw money at the big name guys. At least, I mean, maybe if you're stuck with them, I guess that's not a great situation. But you got to compete. It's all about recruiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that we can base the answer off of anything we saw again in one game against Mississippi State. Like, I know that they rallied around him for one game and they almost completed a comeback, but there's still 3 games to play, and that's going to tell the rest of the story. It's incomplete. And right now, I would say no if you can get more accomplished coaches interested in that job. And I understand that's not his fault that he's not experienced as a head coach, but if you can get a guy like a Lane Kiffin, then Cadillac's first experience shouldn't be as the permanent head coach at Auburn. It should have to go be somewhere else because Kiffin there are better choices out there. And Lane Kiffin is one of those better choices. You want to talk about a guy that can rally play? Maybe he didn't play there, but a guy that can rally players and recruit. I mean, Dion would be a better version of Cadillac Williams. He just didn't play at Auburn.
Oh,
so
Dion would be.
If those guys are legit options, Cadillac should be nowhere close to an option. Now, if you want to talk about retaining him on the staff, that's a different thing. But as the head coach, he shouldn't be anywhere close to the option right now. It has nothing to do with his ability. That is just so much of an unproven right now. If you can have these other guys, why would you take a big flyer out on an unproven like you just did with Brian Harsin just because this particular one played for your school? I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, Cadillac started coaching in 2015. He was the running backs coach at Henderson State. He did a little time with West Georgia in 16. He was the running back coach for the IMG Academy, like that, prep high school that recruits all the top players in Florida.
The one that won 96-0 at halftime last week.
Right, and they just called the game. He was a running back coach in the AAF. Like, to be a head coach for an SEC big-time program, that's a huge leap. So, and maybe down the line, Cadillac is your guy. I mean, that's huge. I mean, you saw the effect he had emotionally on the fan base and his players. Not trying to say he can't do the job. I'm just saying it's a little early, man.
Agree. If they beat Texas A&M this weekend, I mean that would help stop some of the bleeding.
Coordinator be cool though. I mean, if he's he hasn't served as a coordinator anywhere, but he's been a running backs coach, he's been all that. I'm sure he could be an offensive coordinator. If the guy can end up being something there, that's going to fast track him in no time.
Promise him something beyond retaining him. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we'll retain you with a raise here or with a promotion here, just not the head coach. Like maybe not a coordinator, but something along those lines. I agree with you there. Like, hey, thank you so much for rallying around the team. We'd love to keep you as our running backs coach. I don't think that's enough. You should definitely reward him if it does work out. You go even and go 500 the rest of the way. You should reward him in some way. I just don't think the head coach would be the way to do that. It's not the best thing for the program, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Cadillac might get some offers elsewhere too.
Maybe
if things go well.
I hope so
like
for him. I mean, he seems like a fun guy to rally around. That's great for him. I enjoyed watching him when I was a lot younger than I am now. When he was at Auburn, he and Ronnie Brown were great.
Yeah, Ronnie. This is a little different. They got to go big though. They've tried the new coach. Mm-hmm. They've tried the young guy.
I agree with you.
Hold on, we're getting a call right now from a defeated Senate candidate Don Bolduc. Don, how's it going, man? Welcome. Can we double box Don real quick? Can we double?
I think we lost Don's feed.
Our producer, taking the day off. All right, we're not going to have that interview with Don Bolduc. I guess that's kind of developed. Yeah, that is confirmed. We will not get an interview with Don Bolduc. That's not happening. So we'll just have to keep talking about California.
I was hoping for another diaper update before we got off, but looks like that's not going to happen.
You want to hear about one more political race I thought was pretty interesting?
Sure.
Mayor in Kentucky. It was a tie. You know how they solve a tie for the mayor in Kentucky or mayor of this city in Kentucky?
How?
Coin flip.
No way. No.
Boop. Up, you're mayor.
No.
Tails, you're mayor.
No shot.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't do best 2 out of 3?
Nope. One go. What do you got? Tails? Whoop.
No
You're mayor.
chance.
Good job. You did it. So that's a thing, which I don't think is very fair, dude.
What?
I mean, you campaign that whole time. You do all that, and, you both have a good race, and then it goes, well, coin flip. And we're always, sports shows the day after, an overtime game or something where someone didn't get another chance to get the ball, the coin flip in the Bills Chiefs last year for the playoffs. We've got to make some changes. We've got to do something. This isn't right. Whatever. This poor guy was a coin flip away from being a mayor, and he didn't get it. There's got to be a better way to do it.
You would think.
There's got to be a better way to do it.
How far down the system did they go before they got the coin flip?
That's number one. That's the only.
That's
the only one.
That's the tiebreaker. Number 1. That's it.
That's it. I think.
We ain't go like who's got the hotter wife
No,
before we went coin flip.
How dare you?
I'm
Talking about leadership.
talking politics.
That's a good point. What I think they should do is some kind of competition. Could you imagine, like, as into as I got into 3 and 4 hours of just coverage of these things, if I could see 2 guys running for mayor get into a competition, winner's going to be the mayor, like American Gladiator style, maybe we got a joust, or maybe we have like a Kentuckathlon where we do a bunch of different Kentucky stuff. Like maybe we get a little horse race.
Mhm.
All right. You race horses, see what you do there. Maybe you do a little moonshining, so you can make the best batch of white lightning. Maybe
Who can sign the most bills in 20 minutes?
A little speed bill signing there. Who's going to cramp? You cramped? Is your body ready for this? Did you do your wrist exercises? We don't know. Maybe a little free throw shoot off. It is Kentucky. Let's get on the hardwood a little
It's a
bit.
wild cathlon,
It's a Kentuckathlon. I think that's what it should be. No, instead it was Tails. Hi, you're mayor.
What town is this? Because I still feel like you're lying to me. You're just pulling my leg here.
Let me see. This is out of
That is nuts.
Butler, Kentucky.
Butler, Kentucky.
Well, there's some cities that have like a cat as mayor. So I guess a coin flip's not bad when you got 2 people.
Unless you lose the coin flip to a cat.
It's been done. It's been done. This has happened a bunch of times too.
Did the guy that won, is it Billy Phillips or Billy Phelps? Is that him?
This happened in Louisville in 2000. This happened in Grayson City, Kentucky in 2016.
What are we doing?
We're flipping coins, bro.
Oh my God. Oh, wait, we got it. Are we getting a thing?
Hold on. Do you want it?
I think we're getting it. Oh. Yeah, it looks like incumbent mayor Billy Phelps has actually just lost the coin toss. The coin toss has come in. It is tails. It looks like Mittens the cat is now your mayor. Mittens the cat, ladies and gentlemen.
Knew you were going to say Mitten. Could you imagine that concession speech? Be like, hey, man, I got to give it up to my team. We really went across this great state. We had a fantastic campaign. I can't thank these guys enough. I want to thank my wife, my 3 beautiful children. I mean, they couldn't support me more. It's tough on them. I'm on the road a lot. But Mittens really laid it out there, at the end of the day, when you put it all out there and it's just not good enough, by God, you can go to bed with your head held high. And I know Mittens, after he gets done bathing himself with his own tongue, he's going to go to bed with his head held high as well.
All right, let's go to winner Mittens. We have Mittens at the podium, and it's just Mittens knocking its glass off the podium.
Oh my gosh!
Unbelievable.
We're going live to the Mittens campaign victory. It is, oh my gosh, Antonio, it is wild out here. I ate a quiche earlier. At least that's what I thought it was. Turns out it was nothing but catnip. I am freaking out right now, and I want to run. I want to run, and I also want to scratch. But they're just calling that Mittens Mania around here. So big day for the Mittens campaign. Got to give it up for them. And he did want me to say, remember to not spay your cats. Don't do it. He's like doing a bit of a reverse Bob Barker here, just letting people know spaying your cats will be illegal by the end of this year. So, man, what a
All right. We're getting more from Mittens. Mittens is hitting the ground running out here in Kentucky. Apparently, it is just cats that you cannot spay. It is actually required that all dogs be neutered immediately by tomorrow.
Now, these are the kind of politics you didn't want to see when you knew a cat was going to enter the race. You worry about, are they going to be a little too extreme? Are they going to be a little too one-sided towards cats? What are we going to have with dogs? And now, it's truly a sad day in American political cat history.
The Mittens dictatorship has started in Butler, Kentucky today.
There is a regime in Butler, Kentucky, and it's being run by a feline. People are heading to the border to Tennessee as we speak. There's a pile of cats at the border. People won't even bring their own cats. It's a boycott on cats in Kentucky. How will the mayoral office react? More at 9.
All right. I think we've reached our peak.
I'm good on that. I'm good with enough politics till like next year or whenever.
We've reached our peak. All right, that's going to do it today. We'll be back on Friday. It'll be a Friday fun day. We will have another draft for you on Friday. We've done a top 5 players that are not in the Professional Hall of Fame. Tomorrow, Ricky and I will draft our top 5 fictional athletes of all time. It is a draft, so we cannot have the same fictional athletes.
Top 5 animal mayors.
Patches. Has that been one?
Patches was a yellow dog Democrat, and everyone knows it. Get him out of here.
Guarantee that's a guess, but it guarantees Patches has been a mayor somewhere, a politician.
You're probably right.
All right. So that's coming up Friday, plus so much more. Don't forget, the 18th is a big day here. That's what we're getting.
The world's biggest ball of yarn is under attack, Antonio. We're going to need to kill the feed and end this show. It is a mess out here. There's a ton of yarn. People are going to be crocheting sweatshirts for weeks over here, Antonio. Send it back to you.
All right, coming up on Friday, you heard it here first. We'll have more information about the light show. We'll have more information about single game ticket vouchers. We'll have more information about mini plans, and we'll have more information about how you can get your hands on one of these. So stay tuned on Friday. We'll be back at 2:00. It's the Bullpen.
I thought that was going to fill up the whole screen. It didn't do it. Oh, well.